Hey guys, we have a big full moon in the sign of Aquarius to talk about today. The full moon itself is going to be happening in almost an exact square to Uranus, which is the ruler of Aquarius, and also a conjunction to Saturn, which is the ancient, more traditional ruler of Aquarius. So we have a very highly themed Aquarian full moon that is playing out in the energy today. Expect the unexpected, you guys. Shocks, surprises, things sort of hitting us out of nowhere, radical realignments. This energy, though, it is pushing to bring us back to life in some type of a way. It is pushing for release from the things that have kept us from being able to embrace what it is inside of us that truly makes us feel alive. The light within us is being ignited and illuminated, and we are being released from a lot of things that have been preventing us from doing that up until this point throughout the course of this next 2 weeks in this full moon cycle energy that we have coming in. So let's get into this chart, you guys. Let's talk about this full moon, how it's playing out, the aspects that it's making, and what we may be able to anticipate coming in the energy of today and for the next 2 weeks as this particular cycle is playing out. Welcome back to my channel, everybody. Today is Thursday, August 11th, 2022. My name is Aubrey, and this is my analysis for the full moon in Aquarius that we have coming in tonight. Actually, technically, the full moon is happening in terms of universal time. It's technically happening on the 12th, tomorrow, early hours of the morning, but it's happening at 9:35 p.m. Eastern. So wherever you are at in the world, you can time adjust that and figure out when it's happening where you are. It's also happening at 19 degrees and 21 minutes exactly of the signs of Leo and Aquarius. That's what our full moon is. When the sun and the moon come into exact polar opposition to the degree to the minute, this is what gives us our full moon, when they are reflecting off each other, when they are in exact opposition. And that's happening, like I said, at 19 degrees and 21 minutes of Leo and Aquarius. But you guys know that here on this channel, we read the Sabian symbols alongside the aspects and the astrology that's playing out. And what the Sabian symbols are, for those of you who are new to my channel, welcome. I'm so glad to have you here. What they are is a group of symbols that describe each and every one of the 360 degrees of the zodiac. Whenever there is a planet at a specific point making an aspect, creating a transit, we can look to that specific degree, read the symbolism, the Sabian symbol associated with that degree, and it just gives us an extra layer of clarity, an additional symbolic layer through which we can apply a sort of an overlay to the transits and just get maybe even a better idea of what this energy is truly resonating for on the more spiritual plane as we're navigating our 3D reality. So I'm always referencing and looking at the Sabian symbols, but the reason that I'm doing this little discourse on the Sabian symbols right now is because when we're reading the Sabian symbols, we always round up a degree because we're looking at the energy as it's pulling in, as it's coming in. We're not looking at the energy that is sort of waning out and dissipating. And so we round up a degree. And so when I'm looking at this chart today, when I'm talking about the energetics, and I do this for all of my videos, but since this is a full moon, I just sort of wanted to specify, I'm going to be rounding up a degree. So although this full moon is happening technically at 19 degrees, 21 minutes, I'm going to be talking about 20 degrees of Leo and Aquarius for the placement of this full moon, because those are the Sabian symbols that we're going to be referencing, and we're going to be talking about those in the context of this analysis as well. So that's what I have to say about the Sabian symbols and about why I am rounding up a degree. So we're looking at 20 degrees of Leo and Aquarius for the exact degree placements of this full moon. And just to get it started, let's talk about the Sabian symbols for a minute. And I'm just going to talk about the position of the sun and the moon today, and then we'll bring more in as we get more through this report. But just to sort of lay the baseline for the energy, 20 degrees of Leo, where the sun will be in this opposition to the moon, creating our full moon. The Sabian symbol of that degree is American Indians perform a ritual to the sun. So with it happening at this degree in the sign of Leo specifically, and also in a square to Uranus, we have some big time aspects going on this full moon cycle, and one of them is a very, very tight square to Uranus. That is the great rectifier, the great awakener, and puts things right. There's definitely a sense of illumination and a need to really like spend some time in recognition of what truly makes us thrive. Like the degree itself, I mean, we're in Leo season, which puts an emphasis on those themes generally, but also 20 degrees of Leo, this particular Sabian symbol where this full moon is coming in, position of the sun. American Indians perform a ritual to the sun. I feel like this is also talking about a need to acknowledge like the power of the light and the force that is at this point in time in the face of any darkness or challenge or difficulty or obstruction or lack of hope, you know, just general dark night of the soul type vibes that we may have been going through and navigating over this past, honestly, couple year period of time. At this point, I feel like this is talking about, you know, sort of a return of the light, a return of the sun, and the need to really acknowledge the power of the light that we hold inside of us. And again, this is coming back to our own authentic truth, our own personal creative self-expression, what makes us feel alive, what we need to really like thrive and grow and become and develop into our best. And again, like if you guys have been following my work, I always talk about this trajectory that we are on into the age of Aquarius and this general collective energetic shift that is taking place right now. And it being a shift away from being a more passive consumer to a more like active creator based on this acknowledgement of the gifts and the talents and the potential that we hold inside of us and our ability to come back into alignment with our authentic truth and activate our destiny and rise into our potential. This is sort of what universe is trying to create an opportunity for all of us to get in alignment with and on board with at this point in time, because that truly is necessary to make the transition into the age of Aquarius happen. And this cycle, I really feel like this full moon is marking a period of time that is sort of bringing us to a culmination, things that have been happening over the past, like literally like the past year and a half, the past 2 years, and helping us to release ourselves from the things that have been preventing us from being in this position of recognizing that truth, cultivating that potential, standing in our authenticity, and like feeding it, doing what we need to do in order to like set our soul free. I feel like that is a major message that is coming through with the sun, particularly at that degree. And then the position of the moon today, 20 degrees of Aquarius, in exact opposition. That Sabian symbol is a large white dove bearing a message. So there is a reason to be hopeful. We are likely to gain some type of insight, to learn something, to receive some type of information or knowledge. It could even be with all this Uranus energy, some type of like just flash of insight or epiphany that's hitting us out of nowhere, or like profound awakening or psychic impression or something that we just really opens our eyes about something. Or it could be like a genuine message that is coming through. But I feel like this is saying that this period is also leading us towards a restabilization of things. Like actually like peace is coming. Like whatever we've been enduring, whatever has been crumbling, whatever has been shifting, whatever has been changing, whatever we've been going through, we're like coming to a point in time where things are going to start making more sense, and we're going to receive some type of message or knowledge or insight or understanding or flash of awareness or something that helps to restore some type of peace in our experience at some point in some way over this next couple of weeks. So I wanted to start by just saying the positions of the sun and the moon today for our full moon before we sort of get more in depth into these themes, because I feel like they are laying a pretty strong like baseline or framework for which we can build on the transits that we're going to be talking about as well. So let's get into that right now. First of all, this is a crazy full moon cycle, you guys. Like, it is so Uranianly, Aquariusly influenced. First of all, we have this full moon in an almost exact square to Uranus. There's only a 1 degree orb. Uranus is at 19 degrees of Taurus, fixed sign. The sun and the moon, like I said, 20 degrees of Leo and Aquarius, fixed signs. This is a very tight 90-degree angle. We also have the North Node right there with Uranus as well. The North Node actually for this day, for this moment, has just moved off of exact conjunction with Uranus and is also in a 1-degree orb separation, but it really is not making any type of a difference. The North Node, this is the hand of God, this is fate, this is destiny, and this very much so amplifies energy and creates sort of like a compulsion around, or like a pull in regards to whatever planet it's in a conjunction with. And we're talking about Uranus. Uranus is also the great, or already the great fixer, the great rectifier, the great awakener. And so when we're talking about Uranus, we're talking about the North Node, there is a highly fated, highly destined, like highly hand of God pulling the strings in things that are playing, things that are unfolding right now. Divine alignment, divine timing is being highly, highly activated this week and over this next couple weeks as this energy plays out. And there are likely to be a lot of sudden endings, sudden beginnings, breakthroughs, and breakdowns and things. And I mean, okay, we're also talking about Uranus and the North Node being in the sign of Taurus, right? So I just need to say, like, this is a period of time, and we've been talking about this for a while, shakeups, uncertainty, shocks, surprises, things happening out of blue, resources, supply chains, financial markets, economies, money generally, work relationships, projects, partnerships also, material comfort, material pleasure, like things to do with like the housing market, real estate, stuff like that. All of those Taurus themes, very much. Also food, things coming from the earth generally, very much in a period of instability right now. These are the realms that are being hit by this Taurus energy. And so that are being hit by this Uranus energy. And so these are the areas where we are likely to experience a lot of shakeups and things just happening unexpectedly over this course of this general period of time that we are in right now. We're also talking about the themes of Aquarius and Leo. So there could also be some things like woven or intertwined into this in relation to like rulership classes, elite classes, celebrities, entertainers, also like children. Things to do with romance as well. There actually could be like quite a bit of romance in the air over the course of this next couple weeks, dealing with all of this Leo vibes, even though we have all of this other business that is going on as well. It's a very strange like juxtaposition of things going on right now. It's like on one hand, there's like all these new things that are trying to come in, but on the other hand, it's like we're sort of navigating everything that is upsetting our status quo right now as well. Really kind of hard, I feel like, to stay like mentally organized and not be feeling a little overwhelmed in this moment. So if you've just been feeling like very overwhelmed, like you can't catch your breath, except not in terms of your breath, in terms of like your thoughts, like it's like you just can't, like no matter how much it's like you just having a hard time processing what has been happening and what is going on. Like you can't catch up with yourself or something in some type of a way. That is very indicative of the energy that we have playing out right now. And don't be like all concerned that there's like something wrong with you or something, because I feel like a lot of people are just having that experience right now. Also, we have the sun at 20, this full moon, 20 degrees, right? Like I said, the moon is also forming a conjunction to Saturn. Saturn right now is at 23 degrees of Aquarius. So aside from the almost exact square that we have going on to the North Node and to Uranus, which is huge on its own, the moon is also forming a conjunction to Saturn, which also, this really is intensifying things. And this is adding a layer of like, even more so increased like challenges and obstructions and limitations and things for us to conquer and break through and break free from with this simultaneous Uranus energy playing out, because Uranus releases us from stuff as well. And we're also talking about Uranus in an opposition to the South Node right now. This full moon also in square to the south, that actually it's forming a grand cross. That's really what we have going on with the North and the South Node in Uranus and the sun and the moon in fixed signs. This is really huge. This is really setting up some breakthrough energy. We're talking about sudden endings, sudden beginnings that are releasing us from things that have been keeping us out of standing in our own light, expressing our own light, aligning with our own light, and living in our personal, creative, authentic self-expression, living in our authenticity. So again, this is what we are being released out of and back into at this point in time. So let's see, let's get back to my plan for this report. Okay, so those are like the general aspects that we have playing out. We're in a square to Uranus. We are in a grand cross with the nodes of the moon, Uranus, the sun and the moon. And we are also in an opposition from the sun and a conjunction from the moon to Saturn. This is all big. So, okay. Themes coming up. This full moon is about igniting the spark within us and bringing us back to life, like I've said several times, and shaking up those Taurus themes, like I was talking about. Again, romance, fun, pleasure, joy. Like this is where we're probably more so geared, like what we're wanting and desiring to experience right now. But we may feel or be recognizing more so what is keeping us out of that personal truth that allows us to really feel celebratory about the state of our lives at this moment. Also with the earth at that large white dove bearing a message degree, things that we find out or that are illuminated to us or exposed to us in this light right now as we are performing this ritual to the sun, as we are really acknowledging the power of the light within us and the power of the light of the truth in a lot of ways as well. This is helping to restore the peace in some way, but the way that we get there is likely to be sudden, unexpected, turbulent, and chaotic with all of this Uranus energy. There is also, because of these squares, this cross, like these are the tense, frustrating aspects that bring conflict and difficulty in astrology. And because of this, there is so much tension that is building in this chart and that is coming through right now, but it is leading to this sudden release of things, sudden awakening and realignment with, again, things that are supportive of our authentic growth and our ability to come back into that authentic alignment. The baseline of this energy though is very, very much so heart-based. Solar plexus energy, heart-based energy. We're talking about Leo. Okay, Venus rules relationships. Venus rules how we relate and how we connect and how we socialize and how we sort of like intermingle with others. But Leo, the fifth house, the sun, this rules like the actual heart center. Like this rules romance. This rules like what truly, truly lights us up inside and brings us joy and resonates with us on that like light to light, heart to heart level. You know what I mean? And so when we have lots of Leo energy lighting up like this, it's always putting emphasis on the heart center and also on the solar plexus. And I also need to say for this moment of this full moon, when the full moon is coming into exact fruition, we have just like literally a couple hours earlier had Venus enter the sign of Leo, and Venus is what we want. Venus also rules the heart, but it's more so what we want, what we desire, as opposed to like the true heart center of, what keeps us alive, right? So Venus, what we want, what we desire, also in the sign of Leo with this emphasis on these Leo themes. The baseline of this energy, like I said, I do feel like is putting the emphasis on the heart, the solar plexus energy, and bringing it back online, restoring vitality to the true nature of our heart and breaking us out of these karmic loops or these karmic attachments or these mindsets, this mental programming of the past that may had been separating us from that personal truth. Maybe we came to a point where we didn't even know who we were anymore. We've gotten so far removed from that within us, and we may just be going through experiences right now that are reigniting it for us so that we can really start to understand what it is we truly need to feel good again. Bringing us back to life, I feel like the major push of this energy. It's also about overcoming fears and self-imposed limitations, like I said, that have held us back, and also bringing us up against and helping us to conquer challenges with Saturn there at this point in time that is helping to restore our sense of strength, confidence, endurance, and pride in ourselves as well. Now, the one thing that we do sort of want to watch out for and look out for in this energy is operating too heavily out of our ego or out of any type of like want or desire to sort of like fulfill a more selfish or ego-based purpose, because with Saturn there, we're also talking about the South Node, we could really get slapped around or get some karmic backlash if that is sort of the foot we're stepping forward with in this energy. We don't want to be leading with our ego as this is playing out. We want to be leading with what is truly, truly in our heart. And so that's just sort of something we want to be careful of. We want to watch out and make sure that we are not over identifying with our ego and letting that sort of run the show in this energy, because that can also be a tendency when we are dealing with the Leo vibes and the lower octave expression of the Leo energy. But with the full moon itself, the moon itself in the conjunction to Saturn, it's like, what is likely to be highlighted, what is likely to be shown to us has a lot to do with where we are actually limiting ourselves. Where are we limiting ourselves? Where are we holding ourselves back emotionally? The moon, Saturn restricts, Saturn controls, Saturn limits things. Where are we emotionally holding ourselves back from being able to pursue the things, the experiences, or just open ourselves up internally to be able to align with and express that authentic truth and begin to, come from that place of personal creative self-expression. That is the universal push in this Leo Aquarius energy right now. And simultaneous to this as well, universe is also sort of working right now to break down and remove us or release us from any limitations through this Uranus North Node energy. And that's why I'm also talking about the sudden endings, the sudden beginnings of things, the North and the South Node. The South Node rules what we are being released from, what we need to move away from, what we have become very comfortable with, but it's just like maybe no longer conducive to our growth at this point in time. The North Node, this is the next phase of growth, the lesson plan, where we're being divinely guided, where we're being led, like the way that the path is unfolding before us. With Uranus there, the galactic fixer, radical realignment, our trajectory is being rearranged right now in a way that might be really shocking and surprising to us, so that we can release ourselves from anywhere we being untrue to ourselves and come back in alignment with that which, again, brings us back to life, truly makes us feel alive, truly gives us the opportunity to thrive and to activate our destiny, because that is what God and universe wants for us right now. This is no longer the time when we can sort of just like stand in the background and disregard who we truly are, what we truly came in with, and what we've always felt called to do, become. Like, this is the time to make that stuff happen for ourselves. And the more effort we put into doing that, the more that we're going to grow, the more that we are going to prove to ourselves that we have the strength and the resiliency and the courage and the tenacity and the endurance and all of that to overcome. And when we acknowledge that about ourselves, it brings this tremendous sense of self-empowerment. It restores this tremendous sense of internalized value, which changes our vibration and allows us to begin to attract and magnetize to ourselves that which is a reflection of who we are becoming, instead of that which is a reflection of who we've been. That's why these breakdowns are happening. That's why these rearrangements are happening. But we are also in a very rare and unique numerological year. It's a 222 year, all about divine alignments and spiritual connections and true balance and true harmony and synchronicities and soulmates and stuff like that coming into connection, coming into fruition as a result, of course, of these energetic shifts and changes that have been happening within us and the reflection of them being manifest in our physical, tangible world. So that is, I guess, another way of describing the way that this energy is playing out. But I do feel, and I was saying this in my Sun Square Uranus video from yesterday, I feel like what is happening right now is sort of bringing to a culmination, bringing to a head things that have been playing out sort of over the course of actually the past 2 years. Things that have been going on over the past 2 years coming to a head now, and destiny coming into play very much so as well, with this nodal energy that is being activated alongside the Uranus square and the full moon itself in Aquarius and the Saturn conjunction, starting to see the results of things that have been happening and maybe that we have not understood up until this point in time. Things that have been happening over the past, like I said, the past all of 2021 up until this point in 2022, things that have been falling away, things that haven't made sense, things that haven't seemed fair, things that just didn't seem like they fit in with the whole plan, with the trajectory of thing. I feel like we're starting to get the missing pieces now. I feel like we're starting to see the bigger picture. I feel like things are starting to make sense and things are starting to come into fruition. Parts of the plan that we couldn't have perceived before are beginning to be activated, and this is sort of giving us a little bit of foresight about maybe where all this might be going as well. Also, in this highly Aquarian energy, Uranian Aquarian energy is it's not psychic in the way that the water signs are psychic, like the Scorpio signs are psychic. It's more prophetic. It's more just a knowing, like flashes of insight and stuff like that. Like that may be a very prominent experience that we are dealing with throughout the course of this month. Just sort of like getting an instantaneous knowing about something and things just sort of making sense. And then these synchronicities lining up and divine timing coming into play and things happening in a way that really just realigns things for us in sort of like a split second. That's the type of energy that we're ultimately dealing with when we have these types of activations simultaneously going on. Culmination point energy, but with the nodal access, with all this destiny and fate, God is in charge of this process right now, and having faith in the power of the light to transcend, to overcome the darkness that maybe we've been experiencing, and knowing that things are being put right despite what may seem like a calamity that is going on, in this specific moment. Lots of stress, you guys, lots of high anxiety, lots of uncertainty, lots of chaos, but we need to trust the plan. Things are definitely changing. It's interesting because remember, I said the position of the earth, 20 degrees of Aquarius, was a large white dove bearing a message. And then we have our messenger planet, Mercury, currently at 13 degrees of Virgo, very strong in his own sign of Virgo. At the Sabian symbol, a powerful statesman overcomes a state of political hysteria. So whatever message may be coming through for us over the course of this period of time, it is helping us to overcome something that was probably causing us a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety, perhaps some like genuine hysteria. We may see this play out, considering this is Mercury and we're talking about messages. We may see scenarios like this playing out on the world stage in the headlines in terms of like genuine political and governmental figures, especially with all this breakdown and revolutionary energy that we have going on right now. But I feel like this is also very symbolic of sort of our own internal hierarchy, or our own internal power structure that goes on within us, and the fears and the limitations and the doubts and the uncertainties and the negative self-talk and the mental programming that can act as like a mind prison that keeps us from being able to activate our potential and open ourselves up to endless possibilities and stuff, because our perception creates our reality. And when we are in a perception that is clouded by like small thinking and mental programming based in fears, insecurities, traumas, pains, all that type of stuff, we are very, very limited in our potential to do the Leo sun thing, to thrive and to come into our greatest form of growth in this life. And a powerful statesman overcomes a state of political hysteria. I feel like this is talking about an ability that is coming through this cycle to help us overcome any of these states within ourselves that may have been preventing us from being able to go through this process and overcome our own internalized challenges and our fears, like I said. So I feel like there may be messages or information coming through that are contributing to our victory over these types of things in one way or another. Also, like I said, we have Venus moving to 1 degree of Leo literally right before this exact activation of the full moon comes into effect. And that Sabian symbol is under emotional stress. Blood rushes to a man's head. And we're talking about Venus. There could be some things that are really stressing us out about relationships this next couple of months. Again, like I said, there may be romance in the air. We may also just be really excited, or there may be some divine alignments coming in, you guys, some relationships coming in, or again, some sudden endings as well. But on either end of the spectrum, we're likely to be feeling pretty invigorated about it. And again, it could be really bringing us some stress. And remember, stress is not always a negative thing. That's another way that this Uranian energy can work. A lot of times it's something that we're really, really excited about, or we can't believe it, but it's also keeping us really unsettled, or just making it really difficult for us to focus and stuff like that, and making the blood rush to our head. So just because, this degree is likely to be interpreted one type of way, we're also talking about Venus. This is a very positive, benefic planet. And so there could really be some positive things that are going on in relationships as well that are really sort of keeping us up at night, or raising or elevating the anxiety a little bit but with Venus at this degree, moving into Leo just in time. Again, I feel like this is referencing this our heart energy coming back online, restoring the vitality to the true nature of our heart, and putting an emphasis on love, romance, relationships, divinely aligned, that may, in this 222 year, guys, that may be coming into fruition. And it's also interesting, I didn't even say this, but we're talking about this full moon happening on August 11th, 2022, 11/2/2, that obviously breaks down into 2/2/2. So today, numerologically, also with the 11 and the 22, these are both these master numbers, referencing a lot of the same things as the 2/2/2 energy. So actually, numerologically today as well, the date that this full moon itself is falling on, to me, is also referencing this period of divinely fated alignment, soulmate connections that may be coming in throughout the course of this period of time as well. We need to be very open-hearted to things right now. It's interesting, you know, with Venus at that degree. And then we also have Mars at 26 degrees of Taurus in Venus's sign, right? And he's at 26 Taurus, a Spaniard serenading his senorita. So again, this is also talking about romance being in the air, and also like getting in alignment with like the true song of our heart and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So interesting degree placement for Mars as well. Uranus, of course, right now, 19 degrees of Taurus, a new continent is rising out of the ocean. So these rectifications, these realignments, these awakenings are leading us towards a new world, a rebirth, the recreation of our life and our identity and our world based on an alignment with this authentic truth that is emerging for us at this point in time. I feel like that's also very significant degree for Uranus to be at in the context of this energy. And lastly, I wanted to read the position of the nodes as well, since we do have this this grand cross setting up with the nodes. They did, like I said, just recently move out of exact conjunction with Uranus. The nodes always move backwards. They moved from 19 degrees of Taurus and Scorpio to 18 degrees of Taurus and Scorpio. So we're still like right there. Like this is still very much in effect, but they did change degrees. So the Sabian symbol changed. And the Sabian symbol where the nodes are right now, 18 Taurus and Scorpio, that Sabian symbol, 18 Taurus, where the North Node is a woman airing an old bag through a sunny window, giving it air and sunlight. So again, here we are again, talking about the sun, the sunlight, the purification, the cleansing quality, air and sunlight. That's Leo and Aquarius, you guys. Aquarius, air element, Leo, sun. There is some type of purification. There is some type of cleansing that is like divinely ordained right now that is helping to release us from something from the past. And what are we being released from? The position of the South Node right now, 18 degrees of Scorpio. That Sabian symbol is a path through the woods, rich in autumn coloring. And there are so many layers of symbolism to me in this specific degree. First of all, it's referencing a path through the woods. Symbolically, the woods can a lot of times represent like our fears, or, you know, the darker recesses of our psyche, or our more negative experiences, or where we can't see, like what we're sort of blinded to in navigating. But a lot of times it is symbolic of our fears. And we're talking about through the woods, rich though in autumn coloring. Autumn is the season of fall, is the season of transformation, is Scorpio energy. It's the death and the rebirth and the cycles of life. So I feel like the South Node, what we're releasing, what we're moving away from with this full moon, a path through the woods, rich in autumn coloring, we are moving away from our fears of the past. We're going through this transformation. We are transcending out of our previous limitations. We are transcending out of the dark, out of the woods, out of the shadows, out of the mysteries, out of the lack of illumination, out of the lack of clarity, out of the lack of truth. Like we are coming from the darkness into the light of day, and there is a certain path that we are following, and it's rich in autumn coloring. It's this transformative process. It's as a result of this death and this rebirth process that we are going on right now in the context of our return to the light. The sun, the sunlight, the air, this is the purification. And the position of the sun in the sign of Leo, American Indians perform a ritual to the sun that is re-empowering us, and again, I'll say it for like the 100th time this report, bringing us back to life. So that is what I feel like the bottom line is in the context of our full moon as it's playing out, this full moon energy that is coming in today, again, August 11th, 2022, this mirror day, this 222 energy, again, being indicated, and a large white dove bearing a message. A powerful statesman overcomes a state of political hysteria. Messages coming through that are helping us to overcome issues within ourselves that have been holding us back in any type of a way. So that's what I have to say, you guys. I feel like this is a very productive period of time that we're in right now. It may not be the most like enjoyable on the surface to navigate, and that is also coming through in the chart. We're talking about the sign of Leo, right? This is our enjoyment. This is our pleasure. This is how we have fun. This is what makes us feel good. In opposition to Saturn, the moon in a conjunction to Saturn, like these type of things a bit limited, a bit restricted, and that is also what is bringing up this tension and frustration and desire to break free, because we don't want to be in that restriction. We want to be able to feel good about stuff. You know what I mean? Like we don't want to have to feel like we've been feeling anymore. Like we're pretty much over it. Like we've come to the end of dealing with the things that are going to just not make us happy at the end of the day with this Leo energy. So that's what's causing the changes. The changes need to happen now. They're happening in divine timing, and we just need to surrender to them. But, you know, it may just not be the most fun experience that we are navigating right now at this point in time, but it is very purposeful. It is very productive. And it's like the sacrifice that we are making now with Saturn there, you know, it's like delayed gratification, right? Like that's what we're dealing with, like a bit of delayed gratification, sort of putting in the hard work so that our efforts will pay off going forward, and we will find ourselves at that place to be able to enjoy our lives and just feel like things are a lot better and we're a lot happier once we go through this process. But now is sort of more of the time for us to like face these issues and deal with these issues so that we can get that when it's over. So let's grab a synchronicity card now, you guys. This is going to be just a message from God and Spirit to help us like get a little bit of additional information, a little bit of advice in terms of, you know, what we should keep in mind as this full moon is playing out today and over this next couple weeks. And it is taking a long time of shuffling to get a card today. It doesn't usually take this long for our message to pop out, but here's one that wants to come out, so we'll just take it. It says turn off the world, you guys. This is what universe wants us to know as we are going throughout the next couple weeks, what may benefit us in the process. It says folly is joy to him destitute of wisdom. That's so interesting with the Leo, Aquarius, Saturn vibes. Looking for love in all the wrong places, looking for joy in externals, finding joy in lurid drama, hate-filled music, and other synthetic entertainment. You will find joy within yourself. Turn off the noise and listen to the voice within. Search for wisdom within yourself. Be happy with yourself inside and you will find joy. I cannot believe the words that I'm reading on this card after all of this that I've talked about for this past like half an hour or whatever, about all of this joy and happiness and fun and all of that. God is telling us right now that we should not be seeking it externally in the face of whatever we are going through. We need to be, again, finding it within ourselves, figuring out what within ourselves is lighting us up inside and moving in that direction. Be happy with yourself inside and you will find joy. So that is the message right on point with what's going on with the astrology today, you guys. That's what I have to say. Message from the stars, synchronicity card message for us today. I hope you guys liked it. I hope I was able to provide something for you that can clear things up for you a little bit as you're navigating the next couple of weeks. If you guys did like this video, please give me a big thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel. Share it with your friends if you think that they would like this and be interested in this type of content too. Leave me comments, you guys. I absolutely love your comments. I love your feedback. I'm so grateful for each and every one of you guys. Thank you so much for being here. You're all my favorite. I have a Facebook page, a Facebook group, a website, and some other social media stuff. Those are in my description box below. And come back with me tomorrow, you guys. We have another jam-packed weekend full of astrology to talk about. It just is not stopping. But if you watched my August video, I was saying that by the time we get to the 15th this month, things are going to start to shift and change a little bit, and we are really building into that. So we've got some more big energy coming at us this weekend, right on the heels of this full moon to talk about, and I'll be here. You should be here too. You don't want to miss it, and I will see you then, everybody. Have a beautiful moon, and until tomorrow, bye guys.